This is the story of a woman who now works as a manga editor, but back in high school, her life was nothing short of a circus. In 2020, she and her foursome, called best friends, wasted their days while the pandemic killed off every exciting plan. No sports, no clubs, no festivals, nothing. She was a struggling shoujo manga artist, scribbling love stories like a desperate wannabe even though she had zero real experience. Then came the joke of the century. All four of her idiot friends fell for her. What should have been fun turned into a pathetic headache. She wanted to keep the friendship alive, but holding together a pack of obsessed idiots was impossible. By 2D30, she finally learned the painful truth: friendship doesn't survive when friends turn into rivals. The story begins in Shinjuku on July 1st, 2030. Rain falls softly, but for Mizuho Nishino it feels like the sky itself is mocking her. It is her birthday, yet instead of celebration, she thinks only of the pressure from her boss, who demands she enter serialized manga before the year finishes. Students pass by, laughing with no care, and their voices stab her with memories, and suddenly she sees herself and her friends from 10 years ago, glowing with a youth she never appreciated back then. The story shifts back to July 1st, 2020. Drawings are scattered across her desk, and photos of her friends are on the walls, and her father storms in with lunch, only to scream when he sees her asleep beside Kazuki, who lies shirtless. The fool panics and laughs, but saying he was just modeling. Kazuki leaves with her father, who forgets it is even her birthday. Outside, her four childhood friends wait for her as always. They have grown up together in Koigama Highlands, their bond so close that no secret slips by. Shugo mocks her plain glasses and makeup-free face like the annoying idiot he is. Eru gives his boring advice to act ladylike. Shin tells her to study harder, sounding like a nerd. She pushes them off, saying friendship and love matter more than grades. To her, Kazuki is still the baby of the group, taller now but just as careless. The train ride is filled with noise and laughter. Eru teases her about Ryusuke, the swimmer she admires. At practice, girls scream as Zuki removes his jacket to reveal a toned body. Some idiot knocks over her glasses, breaking them. Soon after, she overhears devastating gossip. Ryusuke plans to quit swimming, crushed by the cancellation of all events due to the pandemic. No school trips, no fireworks, no competitions. She later finds him at the bus stop. He laments how everything he worked for feels wasted. She admits she loves watching him swim and dreams of confessing at his final meet. But he coldly dismisses her, saying she cannot understand. Her heart breaks. Her one-sided love ends on her birthday, leaving her crushed and pathetic. Night falls, and Kazuki trains alone in the pool. Ryu finds him and praises his determination. Kazuki reveals his private vow, to confess his love if he reaches the national finals. Ryu, inspired, decides to practice again. When Ryu mentions that Mizu wants to see him swim, the mood of Kazuki changes sharply. To him, she is not just a childhood friend, but a girl he wants for himself. Returning home, Mizu feels defeated until she sees her room lit up. Her four friends surprise her with a birthday celebration. Tears roll down her face, and they panic, thinking they upset her. She assures them she is happy. Eru snaps a picture of her crying face like a shameless clown, making her furious. Shun tries to go beats to calm things, but Chios continues. When she blows out her candles, Kazuki makes a bold wish to become her boyfriend, and her cheeks flare red and she trembles. At that moment, she does not realize how sparkling her world is. The next morning, her friends stare as she walks out wearing contacts instead of glasses. They tease her relentlessly, but Shin awkwardly calls her stupid, which makes everyone laugh. Kazuki shocks them further by calling her cute, making her blush harder. School life continues, but now Mizu faces unwanted attention. Two cowardly classmates beg her to deliver cookies to Kazuki because they are too useless to approach him themselves. She thinks back to the weak boy who missed school because of asthma, who clung to her and called her a genius for cheering him up with silly sketches. To her, he is still the baby of the group, not this popular boy admired by others. Meanwhile, her editor rejects her manga again, calling it average. He pushes her to write a school romance, convinced she lives an exciting life. She insists she doesn't, but he argues she probably cannot see it. Dejected, she wanders outside only to meet Eru. He notices her mood and takes her for drinks. She admits her dream of fireworks with her crush is gone, and her love life is in ruins. Eru sighs, watching her ignorance. Later, she brings the cookies to Kazuki at the pool. At first, he lights up, thinking she baked them, but when she tells him they came from classmates, his mood darkens. He demands she take them back. She chases him, confused, but he confronts her with raw intensity. Under the shower spray, both get soaked. He grabs her arm, asking if she ever thought of him as a man. Trembling, she denies it. But he smirks with confidence, certain she will fall for him. Then, without hesitation, he leans in and kisses her under the streaming water. At her office building in the present day, Mizuho consoles a young mangaka whose series has just been cancelled. The girl feels hopeless and talks about giving up. Mizu suggests writing about love and adolescence, but the girl sighs and says she has never experienced a sparkling love or youth. Mizu insists she is still young and living through exciting days. The words echo back to her own teenage years, because they are the same words her editor once told her. She sees herself in the girl and memories begin to unfold again. Life at school returns to normal, but the tension from Kazuki's kiss in the shower hangs over Mizu. She avoids looking at him and feels awkward. At the doorway, Shin tells her to move aside with his usual blunt tone. Students around them whisper, calling him scary but handsome, cold but cool. Mizu cannot figure out his deal, but she knows he always keeps distance. That evening, the boys hang out in her room as they usually do. Shin helps her study but pulls her clothes only to tease her about forehead wrinkles. She pushes him away and complains about his arrogant behavior at school. She warns him that if he continues like that, his face alone will earn him compliments, but his attitude will ruin his reputation. Shin admits that if he acts friendly with her in public, it becomes embarrassing because people would know they are childhood friends. He even calls her an idiot for not knowing how to do makeup. He then orders her to meet him at the library tomorrow so they can fill her empty head with studies. Kazuki interrupts with drinks, and the moment he stands close, Miz's face flushes. She tells him if he is bored, he should do laundry. Suddenly realizing what he might touch, she rushes downstairs and finds him holding her bra. She trips and falls under him, their eyes meeting. He looks serious, determined, and tells her silently with his stare that he wants her to acknowledge him as a man. She feels suffocated by the awkwardness and asks for space. Surprisingly, he listens and walks away, leaving her with a pounding heart. The next day, a storm brews while Kazuki trains as usual. Shin finishes his student council meeting late and plans to meet Mizu. Thunder roars and Mizu flinches. The sound terrifies her, and she runs into the rain, screaming when another strike echoes. Horrible memories resurface. She remembers the night her father left her with Kazuki's family while he took her mother to the hospital. Thunder filled the sky that night, and fear consumed her. Shin goes to the library to find her but misses her. Kazuki, however, finds her crying in the rain. She prays for her mother's safety. He tells her without words that everything will be alright and holds her close. When the storm clears, he carries her on his back, comforting her despite his usual crybaby image. She thinks she must have hit rock bottom. Even a weakling like him is worrying for her. He asks softly if she had wanted Shen instead, but she mutters her hatred for Thunder and how it reminds her of that day. He already knows. Then she admits she prefers him, grateful he has always been by her side since then. He is stunned by her words. As they walk, a rainbow forms above golden waters. The sight takes her breath away. For the first time, she sees him as beautiful. He leans closer and smugly asks if she fell for him. She panics, shrieks, and denies it. The next day, the group spends time together pretending to be on a school trip since the actual one to Hokkaido is cancelled. They relax in a backyard, imagining the sea breeze. Suddenly, water sprays everywhere because Kazuki steps on a hose. Shugo retaliates, immediately dragging everyone into chaos. That night, they camp out. Kazuki trains again, determined to break his personal record at regionals. He tells Mizu to cheer for him, while leaning on Eru to ask him to come too. Eru, acting like a cold idiot, brushes it off and tells them to sleep. As they lie down, Mizu feels uncomfortable with Kazuki so close. Her friends call her spoiled for complaining about the futon, but Kazuki tells her he is fine with her acting spoiled with him, especially since they already kissed. She screams, waking everyone up, and he gets squashed under a pillow. The thought of dating one of them terrifies her. She knows if she chooses love, their lifelong friendship could shatter. She clings to the bond they share, even if her heart trembles in confusion. At school, girls swoon over Kazuki swimming. Chika teases Mizu for staring at him too. She tries to deny it, but Chika pushes further, suggesting maybe she has feelings she cannot see because they are too close. Mizu is shaken by the words. That evening, she grows frustrated at her desk, crumpling another manga page. She does not know how to write love when her heart is so tangled. The next day, disappointment strikes the school. The virus cancels the regional swim meet along with every other club activity. Students cry over wasted effort, but Kazuki stands firm without tears. Still, Mizu knows he feels broken inside. Later, he finds her in class. She waits for him, worried. He tries to joke about their goals being flushed away, but she tells him it is okay to be honest. She praises his effort, reminding him that the summer he worked so hard for still matters. His facade crumbles. Tears well up in his eyes as he leans on her shoulder. He says he has been holding back because of her words, but now he cannot stop crying. She comforts him as he weeps, telling him she acknowledges his hard work. He admits he will keep trying and asks her to continue watching him. The present day returns. Mizu talks to Shika about the words she had spoken to the young writer, the same words her editor once told her when she was young. The young girl had insisted that life carried no guarantee of being dazzling. Chika laughs because Mizu had said something similar herself a decade ago. The two women agree that the young girl likely would not believe Mizu now, just like they once failed to believe their own mentors. Still, Chika encourages Mizu to look after her, because adolescence is always rocky. Walking home, Mizu reflects on how Chika always looked out for her during high school. She admits silently that back then she was too blind to notice how others around her were carrying their own secrets. Her thoughts drift toward Kazuki, and she feels herself falling for him. But before the truth can settle, her body gives way, and she collapses with a fever. Shugo and Eru worry over her condition, but are distracted when they see Kazuki shopping like a complete idiot. His basket overflows with random things like mold remover and charging cables, hardly the kind of gifts to help a sick girl recover. They are left flabbergasted by his lack of sense. Outside the store, Eru encounters delinquents he once hung out with. They call out to him, mocking him for abandoning them. Shugo and Kazuki tell him to ignore it, but Eru steps forward anyway. He answers coldly that he is fine without them. Their words sting, but he keeps walking. By the bridge, his emotions explode, and he yells in anger, lamenting that he might never escape his rotten past. Shugo reminds him of how pathetic he used to be in middle school, always fighting, skipping classes, and hanging out with losers. They tease him lightly but follow it up with reassurance. They tell him he was cool today, and they liked him both then and now. Eru finally breaks, hugging Kazuki and telling him that he likes them too. Shugo stretches his arms for a hug, but the two walk right past him, leaving him behind like the idiot he is. Back at Miz's house, Shin checks her temperature after giving her medicine. Her fever drops a little. He leans in close, almost about to kiss her, but stops when she stirs in her sleep. She wakes slightly, dazed, and he tells her to rest before leaving the room. Outside the door, he questions himself, wondering why he even attempted that. Soon, Mizu recovers fully and steps outside her house only to find Shin waiting. She is shocked he skipped school for her. The two walk along the shore. Shin hands her fruit sandwiches, knowing she has not eaten. He then scolds her for taking giant bites, saying she looks unladylike. She ignores him and runs to play in the water barefoot, even though her fever has only just gone. She begs him to play too. Shen suddenly stops the fun and tells her that a hug is how people realize their feelings. He pulls her into his arms, explaining that if her heart races, it means she loves the person. The moment turns heavy. Seagulls squawk, weaves move, and silence lingers. His face burns red and she shoves him away, claiming she cannot breathe. She calls the act impossible. Shin calls her stupid, hiding his face as he walks away. She fumes, thinking he is only mocking her because her love life is so pathetic and below average. Little does she know he remains red in the face, unable to hide his feelings. At her house, Shan helps wash the sand off her feet. Kazuki suddenly walks in and sees them. He asks what they are doing, but Shin brushes it off with a simple excuse before walking inside. Kazuki gently touches her head, checking if the fever is gone. Mizu blushes, remembering Shin's words about heartbeats and hugs. Confused and overwhelmed, she runs off, shuddering at why her emotions are so tangled. Later, the group visits the aquarium. Eru brags about styling Mizu with makeup and an outfit, telling her she looks cute. Kazuki focuses on those words, jealousy flickering inside him. Together they enjoy the exhibits, admiring marine life. When Mizu and Kazuki are alone, he thanks her for inviting everyone to cheer him up after his swim meet was cancelled. His gratitude quickly deepens as he admits she makes his heart race. He insists something about her feels different today. Her own heart races so fast she feels like it might burst. During the meal, Shugo teases Mizu for looking especially nice, hinting she might have plans later. He mocks her for being scared to face her own feelings, saying it is obvious because they have known each other so long. She grows frustrated, realizing even he can see what she tries to deny. The group then heads to see the dolphins on the suggestion of Kazuki. A huge splash threatens to drench Mizu, but Kazuki shields her. She pushes him off, insisting she is fine, but their eyes lock in silence. He admits he wants to go out somewhere, just the two of them. The air thickens between them. On their way back, Shugo notices his teacher laughing with another man. Something about it unsettles him, but when Mizu asks, he says nothing and admits only that he feels like he is in the same boat as her. On the train ride, Kazuki slyly takes Mizu's hand, holding it quietly. She does not answer him before, so he asks again if she will go out with him, just the two of them. Mizu trembles, afraid to know who she truly loves. Yet his warmth makes her heart pound. He leads her off the train, leaving the others behind. Back in 2030, Mizu is about to fall asleep when the booming sounds of the Shinkai Stadium fireworks festival wake her. Eru sends a birthday message, warm and kind, the type of thing only an old friend can give. But her jaw drops when he reminds her of Koigahama Fireworks Festival happening next week, the one that holds precious memories for all of them. 10 years earlier, she watched those fireworks with the person she liked most. The memory stings and her mind drifts back once again. That summer, the boys notice how Kazuki is always trying to monopolize Mizu. Shugo and Eru laugh, remembering how even as a kid he used to chase after her, calling her with puppy-like energy. Shin does not join in their laughter. His face turns serious as he mutters what could possibly be so good about that derp, making Mizuho sound like a useless fool. Meanwhile, Mizu and Kazuki sit together at a cafe. She blushes and fumbles with her words, while he casually leans over and sips from her drink, boldly calling the outing a date. Her face heats up further when he holds her hand, gazing at her with puppy eyes that are far too innocent for her sanity. He tells her about a swim competition arranged by his coach, a final send-off for the third years. He wants her there cheering him on. His words echo deeper when he reminds her of a day years ago. At that time, she was absent for 2 weeks grieving the death of her mother. Eru wanted to cheer her up, but Shen left first for his tutoring sessions. Shugo tried to encourage Kizuki after his failure to qualify for the team due to an asthma attack. Determined, Kizuki trained harder than ever and eventually left a note asking Mizu to come see him try again. She went, and on that day he finally succeeded. Her joy gave her strength, and she promised to return to school the very next day. That moment became the seed of his love for her. Leaving the cafe in the present memory, a group of girls from another school crowd around Kizuki, trying to chat him up. They mistake Mizu for his girlfriend and apologize for making her wait. Kizuki quickly denies the title, and for a second she wonders why she expected anything else. But then he declares she will be his girlfriend someday. Her heart races, restless and unsteady. Elsewhere, Shin leads Shugo and Eru into a bookstore, shocking them both. Shugo teases him, claiming he knows the reason Shin studies so hard. He believes it started after Mizu's mother died, because Shin never wanted to see her look that broken again. That was when Shin decided to become a doctor. Shugo calls him cute and warns him not to keep quiet about his feelings, or else someone like Kizuki, whose only strength is honesty, will take her away. Shin sits in silence, realizing Shugo is right. Losing to Kizuki gnaws at him, but he accepts it. Later, Mizu and Kizuki board a train back together, only to find Shin waiting for them. He flicks Kizuki's head in irritation and scolds them for doing whatever they please. Mizu reflects on the day, thinking it was fun but missing something. Kizuki insists he does not want to waste this summer. He wants to live it fully so he can look back and say it was great. Shin sits down beside them, folding his arms and stating that even if they cannot tell, he is also living his prime youth. Mizu stares in shock, blurting out that he must be in love with someone. He covers her mouth, cutting her off, but his expression says enough. Kizuki snoozes through the moment, leaving unspoken tension lingering. Mizu whispers later about wishing things could remain the same as when they were kids. Shin cuts through her dream. He says it is impossible. He would rather grow up fast and become an adult who can protect the person he loves than remain a powerless child. His words strike her. She knows deep down that their friendships cannot stay frozen forever. At a local press school, the group volunteers by drawing posters for a fireworks viewing event their high school is organizing. Kizuki's mother, the teacher, thanks them warmly since her son cannot help due to swim practice. With Koigahama's fireworks festival cancelled, parents pour effort into this new event, determined to create joy for the children. Shugo makes the mistake of calling her mom, and she snaps at him to use Miss Izumi. Terrified, he quickly obeys. She then praises Mrs. Father, calling him cool, which leaves the group chuckling. Sitting outside afterward, the friends eat ice cream and talk about how the fireworks event falls on the same day as Kizuki's swim meet. Eru pokes at Mizu, asking if she plans to cheer for Ryu, since her dream had been to watch fireworks with the one she liked. She denies it, but Shin's eyes darken at her answer. Mizu herself feels uncertain. Who does she truly want to stand beside under the fireworks? On the day of the swim meet, she chooses to support Kizuki. Both he and Ri achieve new personal bests. Mizu is filled with admiration for Kizuki's effort and determination. Later in the supply room, she delivers snacks from the group as encouragement. He pulls her into his arms suddenly, confessing that he heard her voice in the water and that it pushed him forward. Her face burns. His determination renews as he prepares for the relay. On the bench, Ryu talks about the possibility of nationals if competition continues. He then admits he wishes she had cheered for him instead. Kizuki bristles at the thought and challenges him to a private match. Revelry surges, flames of competition sparking between them. At the same time, Shin directs the setup for the fireworks festival. He finds Mrs. Father on the ground in pain and helps him. The man praises Shun, saying he is smart, reliable, and destined to be a doctor. He even offhandedly says it would ease his heart if Mizu married someone like Shin. The words stick deeply. Shin shocks himself by asking if he can propose to her one day when he becomes a doctor. The father stands stunned, unsure how to respond. That night, the rooftop fills with glowing lights. The friends gather but notice Kizuki and Rai missing. At the pool, the two boys face off in a duel while countdowns echo for the fireworks. Shin makes sure Mizu knows that her father put much of the event together. As fireworks burst in the night sky, Mizu thanks her father, who confesses he only wanted to cheer the kids up. With school events stolen by the pandemic, he feared they would lose their spark. He admits none of them have ever faced something like this before, but insists they keep moving forward. He tells her that their futures hold endless possibilities, even if heartbreak and failure are inevitable. Mizu stares at the fireworks, her heart glowing with unfamiliar sparkle. She feels something deep, something beautiful. She wonders if Kazuki is watching the same lights from the pool. Tears well, and Eru comes to her side, gently wiping them away. He suggests Kazuki is still swimming and asks if she is certain she wants to remain here instead of by his side. It is 20:30, and Shin is walking down the hospital hallway with a bouquet of sunflowers in hand. Nurses and patients turn to watch him, charmed by his calm appearance. He arrives at Mrs. home. He greets her with the same mix of warmth and bluntness as always. He pats her head, calls her a derp, and wishes her a happy birthday. She brushes off his hand, telling him she has too much on her mind. She invites him inside for tea. For a moment, he considers giving her the flowers, but his phone rings with an urgent call from the hospital. He rushes away, leaving her grateful he came, but staring at the flowers left forgotten in his car. Driving back, he sighs, realizing he has not changed. He is still chasing after her. Back in the summer of 2020, fireworks bloom above the city. Mizu bolts from the rooftop where the others watch. Shugo and Eru shake their heads, complaining that she is such a handful. Out of breath, she bursts into the swim team's break room. Rai stands inside, surprised to see her. His smile fades when he realizes she is not looking for him but for Kazuki. He thanks her anyway, reminding her that her old encouragement helped him keep going. Before he leaves, he tells her Kazuki has won. Her thoughts spin as she rushes to the pool. She remembers how she once admired Ryu so much, how he seemed untouchable. But now her heart pulls elsewhere. She finds Kazuki asleep in the pool, worn out from his duel with Ryu. Without hesitation, she jumps into the water and demands to know why he is not at the festival. She begs him to watch the fireworks with her. He grabs her shoulders firmly, but before words can pass, the night sky explodes with color. Lights scatter over the water, and she feels her chest tighten. She wishes he would stay by her side forever. The quiet moment turns playful as he teases her for jumping in with clothes still on. He drapes a towel over her shoulders, then laughs when she uses it to dry him instead. Sitting face to face, she gently rubs his hair dry. He pulls her closer by her ribbon and asks why she wanted to watch fireworks with him. Their faces drift together, lips almost touching, until their friends' voices cut through the silence. The spell breaks. They duck into hiding, Kazuki pressing a finger to her lips to keep her quiet. Their friends give up the search, but Shin spots the pair of shoes left at the entrance, his eyes narrowing with suspicion. On another day, Eru sets up a photo shoot for his social media. Mizu ends up being his subject, and when he snaps a shot of her tired face, she explodes in anger. The others laugh. She insists she has no time for this nonsense because the newcomers manga competition looms only 20 days away. Kazuki picks up her rough draft and reads aloud a line about wanting a kiss, causing her to turn red. Flashbacks of their near kiss flood her mind. Embarrassed, she snatches the draft back, shouting at him. Shin quietly watches, clearly uncomfortable with how close they seem. Evening falls, and Shugo barges in with erasers and pen nibs she asked for. He mocks her, but she thanks him before demanding his help with cleanup. Suddenly his phone vibrates, and his expression twists. His older brother Togo is coming home for summer. Shugo feels like his life is ruined, since he turned Togo's room into a storage dump. The group helps him clean, only for Kazuki to stumble upon dirty magazines. Shugo, red-faced, insists they belong to his brother, not him. The others roll their eyes, calling him pathetic. Days pass quickly. At the mall, Mizu tries on outfits while Eru plays stylist. He nearly loses his composure when she steps out, looking unexpectedly adorable. Meanwhile, back at Togo's room, Shugo rants about all the girls he has kissed. Shin and Kazuki are unimpressed, saying they only want to kiss the person they love. Shugo mocks them, saying they have no idea what real romance is. He calls himself the master of being the third choice, the fool who waits until a girl's first and second choices fall apart. He calls it the true essence of love, because only then does a girl realize his value. He dreams about dating countless women until the day he dies. Shin shuts him down coldly, telling him to get back to cleaning. At the store, Eru overhears two girls talking Mizu, calling her arrogant for hanging around him. He steps in without hesitation, declaring Mizu is cute and even claiming she is his secret girlfriend. The girls freeze, their jaws dropping, unable to believe someone like him would say such a thing. Eru walks away sighing, knowing his words mean nothing. In truth, he is not even a choice. Later, with the sun sinking low, Eru and Mizu sit together in peace. She admits she feels lighter, as though all her stress has melted away. He watches her carefully, then asks who she watched the fireworks with. Her answer lingers in his mind. He asks next if she has figured out her own feelings yet. She hesitates, then asks him what he would do if he had to face his own. He admits he would do nothing, because a confession would destroy their friendship. He would rather stay as a friend forever, happy just to be at her side. Mizu takes his words to heart. She wonders if Kazuki would remain by her side forever too, if their relationship stayed only as friends. She is torn, unsure of what she really wants. That night, the group laughs over photos, reminiscing on their playful times. Shugo picks up one picture in particular, then slips away quietly. Alone downstairs, he stares at the image him and Mizu. Under his breath, he admits he would rather stay friends for now. Back in 2030, Mizu is staring at the half moon. The night is quiet, yet her thoughts are loud. She wonders if Kazuki, wherever he is now, regrets any of it, or if he still believes, like back then, that their story was worth it all. Mizu is at Eru's place, and he tries to cut her hair but ruins it, chopping off far too much at once. From the kitchen, his mother asks if they want steak or eel for dinner. Mizu shamelessly says she wants both. Just yesterday, she was praising Shugo's dad for his pizza, and now she is leeching off Eru's family too. Until her father returns from a business trip, she is freeloading her way across every household. After practice, Kazuki rushes to meet her, asking why she will be going to Shen's place the next day instead of his. Her mind recalls Eru's words about friendship lasting forever. She tells Kazuki there is no particular reason, brushing him off. Shin then arrives with his dog, breaking the tension. It is set, she will be at his place at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Later, Chika teases her, calling her a derp for eating at everyone's houses except Kazuki's. It looks suspicious, like she is avoiding him on purpose. Chika warns her that another girl could easily swoop in and snatch Kazuki. Mizu hesitates but says she is fine just being friends. She tries to convince herself that this is for the best. Dinner at Shin's house comes, and she spaces out, lost in thought. His mother notices but Mizu avoids explaining and instead asks for seconds of food, scarfing it down like a starving beast. The woman offers her a bath which makes Shin blush. The little brother blurts out he wants her to marry him. The chaos is endless. Homework still needs finishing, so Mizu insists on leaving afterward. Disaster strikes when the family dog knocks water onto her shirt. Shin wipes her off, grumbling about the confusing name she gave his dog, Shinshin. She smiles, saying the name fits perfectly. Later upstairs, he finds her in his hoodie, stealing his clothes. He scolds her but pulls the hood up for her, saying she is not cute. His flustered face betrays his real feelings. Unable to calm down, he runs to the convenience store. Outside, he meets Kazuki on his evening jog. Kazuki asks if Mizu has gone home. Shin deliberately twists the knife, lying that she said she would stay the night. Dirty play. Memories stir in his head, pulling him back to their middle school opening ceremony. Mizu had followed excitedly behind him, happy to be in the same class. He had coldly brushed her off, calling it the worst. Kazuki, in contrast, had wished he could have been in her class. She ended up going back with Kazuki, leaving Shin alone, burning silently. Looking at the water now, Shin mutters that he has not grown up at all. When he returns, Mizu is asleep on his desk, homework half finished. He tries to cover her with a blanket, but she mumbles in her sleep, asking if they will always be friends. His heart toots painfully. The next morning, cicadas cry outside as Zu wakes up leaning on his shoulder. He tells her that starting tomorrow they will not be friends anymore, because she slept at his place. He asks if friendship can even continue like this. Pulling close, he tries to confess, but she misreads the situation completely, bowing and apologizing for interrupting his studies so often. He laughs bitterly, knowing she misunderstood him again. He admits he cannot dislike her, no matter how hard he tries. Then he heads to the shower, leaving her with breakfast before she leaves. Later, she and her father visit her mother's grave. Returning afterwards, she finds the boys dressed in yukata provided by Shen's mother. Together they take a walk by the shining water. She adjusts Kazuki's poorly tied sash, only for him to confess he leaves it messy on purpose so she will always fix it. He admits he wants her eyes on him alone. Her cheeks burn. Shin and the others witness the moment silently. Kazuki speaks again, saying he figured out why she went to him on the night of the fireworks and why she avoids his house. He tells her she has fallen for him. She turns red, denying it but unable to hide her feelings. Before the moment deepens, the others cut in with jokes. They turn the evening into lighthearted fun, sharing goofy secrets. Mizu confesses the yukata she wears belonged to her mother. Later at her mother's grave, she speaks softly. She tells her mother about each boy. Shin is cold and constantly nags her to study. Eru criticizes her fashion choices. Shugo barges in and laughs even when she is worried. Kazuki moves at his own slow pace, frustrating her endlessly. Yet she admits every day is filled with fun. She thanks them for always staying with her. Each boy responds in turn. Kazuki, however, drops a bombshell. He says he is in love with someone. The others lean in, waiting for him to confess it is Mizu. But before the words spill out, Mizu bolts, shouting about wanting ice cream. She runs off to the store, saving herself from hearing what she already knows. Shugo splashes Kazuki with water afterward, laughing and telling him not to get too serious. Eru suddenly admits he confessed to Mizu back in middle school. The others freeze, shocked. At the store, Mizu cannot stop thinking of those words from Kazuki. She goes to pay only to realize she forgot her wallet. Embarrassment surges, but luck strikes when Tugo, the older brother of Shugo, appears behind her. He pays for her without hesitation, smirking as he tells her she has grown into a cutie. In 2D30, Mizu meets her old editor, Mr. Yamamoto. Even though they now work in the same company, They hardly cross paths because they are in different departments. He notices her troubled look and asks what is wrong. She explains about the young manga artist under her care whose recent work was cancelled. He reassures her, reminding her that she was bold and decisive even as a young girl. His words strike her, and she feels determination stir. She decides she will not give up. She will continue to support the young artist because as long as the girl does not give up, her chance is still alive. Together they share a moment of nostalgia, agreeing that youth dazzling. Mizu admits she finally understands how sparkling her own youth had been. Back in the summer of 2020, Eru splashes Shugo and Kizuki with water instead of telling them what Mizu said after he admitted his feelings to her in middle school. He brushes it off as the past. Tugo, Shugo's older brother, steps into the picture and teases Mizu for still hanging around with the boys, calling her childish. He nearly fails to recognize her but then admits she has grown cute. His sudden question about whether she has a crush leaves her flustered. Her mind goes straight to Kizuki. Tugo smirks and reminds her that when she was young she used to follow him around, even saying she liked him. She burns with embarrassment at the memory. He leans close, teasing her further, demanding to know why her face looks so flustered. As her first crush, he wants answers. Before the tension escalates, Shugo storms in and pulls Mizu away, calling Tugo nothing more than her childhood crush. Togo shrugs, telling his younger brother to calm down. On their walk back together, Togo again tries to move closer to Mizu, only for Shugo to jump in a second time, snapping and calling him a pervert. Shugo then drifts into childhood memories. He remembers the times when they all played together. He recalls how Mizu used to snatch his glasses and joke around. In those moments, he once asked her to marry him. She shot him down instantly, saying no way. When he asked who she would marry, she had pointed to Tugo. Togo had laughed it off, saying he was not into kids but would think about it when she grew up. That memory still stings Shugo, showing how Togo always had an edge in his mind. Later, during lunch break, Shugo lingers in the music room where his teacher plays piano. After she finishes, he brings up seeing her with a man at the station over summer. He bluntly asks if that was her boyfriend. She brushes him off, telling him not everything is as complicated as he thinks. She calls herself an adult and a teacher with no interest in him. He takes the rejection calmly, already used to unrequited love. For him, chasing after people who never choose him feels almost natural. In class, Mizu sits at her desk exhausted. Shin and Kizuki realize the stress comes from her frantic rush to finish her manga before the competition. Their teacher then enters with an unexpected announcement. Tugo will be joining as an intern teacher assigned to physical education. The shock ripples through the class. During PE, Togo dominates every activity with his athletic ability, leaving the girls swooning and the boys humiliated. Mizu, sleep-deprived and sluggish, gets hit in the face with a ball. Togo rushes to her side, showing concern. Later, Shugo and Eru help escort her to the post office so she can submit her manuscript just in time. She makes the deadline, but barely. Meanwhile, in the faculty room, Tugo corners Shine, teasing him casually. Shin is there to hand in a student council proposal. A teacher informed the school festival budget must be pushed to the next term because the festival is cancelled altogether. The news hangs heavy. Mizu collapses into bed at home. Her dreams take her back to the days after her mother passed. In those lonely times, she would draw quietly while the boys came by to keep her company. Even with tears, she had felt joy that they never left her alone. Back in reality, Kizuki sprints to her door to make sure she completed her manuscript. The other boys stop him, deciding to let her sleep. They watch over her silently. The next morning, her father finds all of them still resting in the same room. Smiling, he leaves donuts for breakfast, thanking them for always being there for his daughter. On another day, the group heads to the beach. Mizu does not join, still recovering from exhaustion. Tugo stretches on the sand, arrogantly remarking how he wishes she were there to watch him surf. He turns to the boys and needles them, asking if one of them is dating her. Their silence lingers. He then laughs, telling them they can go on playing at being best friends forever, but while they waste time, someone else could steal her away. Someone bold like him. It is 2030 and Mizu returns home after a call with her father. He tells her he will be back next week, and she promises to visit then. Alone in her room, she opens a cabinet and pulls out a box of important things. Inside lie her old manga panels and photos from birthdays with the boys. She gazes at the face of Kizuki in one picture, whispering bitterly about his promise to be her first and last boyfriend. Her heart aches as she wonders why he is not with her now. Back in 2020, she complains to the boys about them going to the beach without her. They dismiss it as her fault for sleeping the day away like a lazy log. Togo steps in with an offer to take her out somewhere to celebrate the completion of her manuscript. The idea sounds like a date and her mind races. Kizuki cannot join because of club activities. Shin is stuck with a student council meeting. Eru has a photo shoot, and Shugo simply does not care. With no one else available, she accepts. The next day, she climbs into Togo's car, only to see Shugo sitting inside. She is thrown off balance. Tugo teases, saying he expected time alone with her, but Shugo casually explains the boys told him to tag along. They spend the day sightseeing, visiting different attractions. Each time Tugo tries to flirt with Mizu, Shugo blocks him, ruining his moves. He even stops him from wiping food from her messy face. The day feels like a battle of interruptions, with Shugo holding his ground. At the aquarium, Mizu feels annoyed watching all the girls gawking at Tugo and Shugo. Their presence draws too much attention. Across town, Shen finishes his club meeting, weighed down by complaints from students furious over the cancellation of the school festival. He regrets not convincing the teachers to keep it alive. Meanwhile, Eru poses for his shoot until he spots Tuya, a figure from his past. Tuya once saved him when the police chased him. He told Eru back then to quit crime and return to his childhood friends. Seeing him now in a professional setting shocks Eru. On the so-called date, Togo asks Shugo if he feels left out, since the others only asked him to watch Mizu to prevent Togo from making a move. Togo claims means no one sees Shugo as a rival. Shugo shrugs, repeating that Mizu is just his friend. Mizu steps away to buy desserts, but a speeding bicycle nearly hits her. Shugo saves her quickly, kneeling to tie her shoelaces. His brother's earlier words echo in his mind. On the ride back, a keychain she bought at the aquarium falls from her bag. Shugo picks it up and tells her to give it to Kizuki. She is stunned, wondering how he knows she wished Kizuki had been there with her. But Shugo already said before, he can see right through her. She grabs his glasses playfully, claiming she still cannot see. It is not about the glasses. It's about him always noticing things she does not realize about herself. Her words make him blush. Embarrassed, he orders Togo to stop the car and swaps into the front seat. Togo smirks, noticing the shift between them. At school the next day, the brothers argue, and their teacher Shireishi Sensei comments on their sibling rivalry. Shugo insists they are nothing alike, but the teacher bluntly calls him out, saying he hides his feelings out of fear. She warns him he will regret it as an adult if he continues to bury his emotions. The words strike him deeply, and he cannot shake them off on his way home. Later, he meets Mizu at the train station. She admits she could not give the keychain to Kizuki because she lacked the courage. Shugo gently suggests she give it to him instead. But when the train arrives, she shakes her head. She cannot. Shugo sighs and warns her not to regret it later. His words push her into action. Mizu rushes back to school, heart pounding, and finds Kizuki hiding the keychain behind a towel. She finally offers it to him as a present from her trip with Togo and Shugo. Before she can fully explain, he grabs her tightly. Shugo arrives at the doorway, silently watching the scene unfold. His face does not break. He is too used to unrequited love. Kizuki holds her with burning eyes, saying the one thing he fears most is losing her to another man. He declares firmly that he will be her first and last boyfriend. He has been staring at her for so long, never once looking away, never once wavering. The intensity of his words shatters her hesitation. Her heart races wildly. Shugo turns away, his chest heavy, but he refuses to regret it. Unrequited love is the role he has grown used to, and he knows it is his place now. Mizu shows up late to dinner at the place of Shugo. She sits down and marvels at the incredible spread of food. Shugo takes pride in the dishes, and she compliments him as if he were the head chef of his own restaurant. She never imagined he would one day quit university to pursue cooking. She then shows him the birthday message she received from Eru, learning he is now in London. Each of them is chasing their own path, putting everything into shaping their future. She wonders when all of them will gather again. Her mind flashes back to their high school days when none of them ever backed down from a challenge. Back in 2020, the cancelled school festival leaves students disappointed. The council is tasked with cleanup, and Shin walks up to Mizu as she sorts boxes for the manga club. He picks up one of her hand-drawn cards, surprising her since he used to mock her magical girl obsession. He admits he does not get it, but he keeps the card because he finds it cute. She beams at the memory, marking the moment as one to remember. As she tapes boxes, Shin brushes her hair aside, leaning close. For a second, it feels like something more, but he ruins it by claiming she had tape stuck in her hair. Still, Mizu smiles, telling him they should remember this moment on September 18, 5:20 p.m., in that very classroom. She wants him to keep the card as proof that they shared this day. She wishes for more memories like this. Memories to show they had lived their youth at Ohio together. In the faculty room, Togo voices his own request to Principal Okuno. He wants the students to have a festival after all. He reminds her that school is not only for study, but also a place to make irreplaceable memories. 1 year means little to adults, but everything to students. The principal chuckles at his cheeky words, but considers them seriously. Later, Shin himself approaches her in the halls, asking for the festival to be reconsidered. His words are heartfelt, filled with urgency. Without memories, all that would remain are tests and lessons. Mizu adds her own voice, saying she wants fun, and she wants to show her art to others. Chika pipes up too, saying even his favorite idol canceled concerts, so this festival is all he has. The third years pled for their last event together. The principal finally agrees but shortens the festival from 2 days to 1 and limits it to students only. Their victory is bittersweet, but it is still a festival. The students cheer, thankful to Shin for securing it. As preparations begin, Shin's vice president Akiyama approaches him quietly. She confesses she has always liked him. She asks if he has feelings for anyone. If not, she hopes he will go out with her. Before his answer comes, she is called away by another council member, leaving the question hanging. The festival day arrives. Students laugh, play, and show off their talents. At the creep-making booth, Kazuki steals attention wearing bunny ears, creating squeals from his fan club. He looks for Mizu, carrying a creep for her, but stops when he sees her already surrounded by Shugo and Eru. His steps falter. Shin approaches, and Kazuki mutters his frustration. No matter how hard he tries, Mizu still looks at him as if he is the youngest of them, nothing more than a childhood friend. He wonders if he has changed at all since entering high school. He remembers the first day they put on their uniforms. Back then, he confessed nervously to Shin that he liked her. He had already begun seeing her as a woman, not just a childhood friend. He wished for her to see him as a man one day. Shin had patted his head, telling him to do his best. That memory remains sharp now. Later, the group gathers for a photo. Kazuki boldly grabs Mizu's hand, whispering that this is his revenge for her not looking at him. The camera clicks, capturing their joined hands in the shot. Miz's heart races at his boldness. As the evening deepens, the festival glows under candlelight, replacing the traditional bonfire. The soft light spreads across the campus. Before Shin can approach her, Kazuki takes her first, asking her to light his candle. They sit together in the glow, and he asks her plainly if she will return his feelings. He admits it hurts to think of her, but he is fine if his love remains unrequited for now. His words settle into her chest, bittersweet but strong. Meanwhile, Akiyama finds Shin. She waits for his answer. He apologizes, rejecting her gently. He admits he has loved someone else for a long time. The look in his eyes stuns her, but she accepts quickly. She knows unrequited love only brings pain, not happiness. Her departure leaves Shin quiet and heavy-hearted. Eru, standing nearby, snaps a photo behind Shin's back. He jokes that it is a shame, because Akiyama is considered the goddess of Ohai. He mocks Shin, calling him a boring, gloomy president whose face is always locked in a frown. His words sting, but Shin says nothing. Eru then frames Mizu and Kazuki in his fingers, smirking that unrequited love is endless pain. He believes Akiyama is right. Watching from afar, Shin remembers the time Kazuki asked Mizu out while he carried her birthday cake. He had covered his ears back then, not wanting to hear. He thinks about why he is so surprised, since he was the one who told Kazuki to go for it. Yet deep down, he knows he hates it. He does not want things to stay this way, but he cannot change what is already in motion. In the present day, Mizu meets with the young mangaka she is mentoring. The girl raids over the new series proposal about love and youth, but admits she cannot draw such themes easily. She wonders aloud if Mizu herself has ever experienced true youth. From her perspective, Mizu had been in high school during the epidemic, a time when festivals, events, and competitions were cancelled. To her, that generation seemed like it had nothing. Mizu responds firmly that even with everything stripped away, her youth in 2020 was still as vibrant as anyone else's. People may call their generation pitiful, but they endured and moved forward. She insists the girl has also experienced youth herself, even if she does not realize it. After the meeting, Mizu lays back in her office, disappointment weighing her down. She failed to convince the girl. She remembers when Kazuki once called her a genius, and tears slip out as she wishes he were here now to wipe them away. Back in 2020, the group prepares for a camping trip. Shugo's and Togo's father packs a cooler full of ingredients into the car. At the cabins, Shin searches for a seat, but Kazuki quickly claims the spot beside Mizu, smirking like he just won a battle. Eru teases Shin, telling him to step up or be left behind. Togo eyes the cabins, excited to claim a room for himself, but Shugo and Shin drag him away, unwilling to let him hog a place. At camp, Mizu spends time with Kazuki, but her attention drifts towards Shin. She senses his quiet mood and invites him to join them. Kazuki grows frustrated at being ignored, splashing her with water. Now she stands soaked in a thin white shirt, embarrassed. Other campers wander by to fish, so Kazuki quickly wraps her in his shirt and holds her close. Eru notices when they return and points it out to Shin. He needles him, asking why Shin paired Mizu with Kazuki to fish instead of choosing her for himself. Shin says nothing, but his face tightens. Later, Eru asks Mizu to fetch blankets and Shin follows. In the storage room, a basket nearly falls onto her head, but Shin pulls her away in time. Their faces linger close, and she asks if he is alright. The moment feels heavy, almost intimate, until a local interrupts to check on them. The tension vanishes. That night, the group eats together. Mizu praises Shugo's cooking, telling him he could take over his father's restaurant. Shugo waves her off, saying he wants to attend university, work a job, and live life without any set passion. Unlike her or Kazuki, he has no burning dream. Chika agrees, saying she has no talent and no interest in fashion like Eru. She feels lost. She asks Togo about his path, and he answers that he wants to make changes in the education system for future youth. The group stares shocked. Shoujo calls him out, saying it is a lie and that he probably just wants a long summer vacation. Togo turns the question to Shin, reminding him that he has been chasing his dream with determination. Shin flashes back to when he told Mizu's father he wanted to propose to her once he became a doctor. Mizu asks him directly what he wants to do, but before he can answer, Shoujo interrupts, leading to a playful scuffle that makes everyone laugh. During shower time, Kizuki wrestles with his feelings. He asks Shin if he likes Mizu, but Shin mishears him, so Kizuki backtracks, claiming he only asked for shampoo. Later, the boys find Chika wandering. She explains she is searching for Mizu, who said she lost her phone and left over 30 minutes ago. Concern rises. Shin immediately volunteers to search, giving his belongings to Kizuki to put away. While handling Shin's things, Kizuki accidentally drops Mizu's art card, the one marked with the words 5:20 p.m., September 18, 2020. I am together with Mizuo. His eyes widen. Memories hit him, moments from their childhood when he wanted to spend time with her, only to watch Shin walk away instead. Bitterness grows as he wonders why Shin told him to do his best if Shin himself felt the same way about her. Rain pours down. Shin finds Mizu taking cover. The moment she hears his voice, she finds her phone. They remain stuck by the storm, huddling under his cardigan. She tries to give it back, but he keeps it over them both. He asks what she wants to do with her life. She smiles, saying her dream is simply to keep having fun with all of them together forever. Even as adults, she hopes nothing will change. Shen looks at her seriously. He tells her that is impossible. Graduation will come, each will walk a separate path, and their bond will not last as it is now. He reminds her about Kizuki, about how reality will not let them stay children forever. Later that night, Mizu returns to her cabin and suddenly receives a call from Kizuki. His voice is urgent as he says he wants to see her right away. Before she can process, a knock sounds at her door. She expects Kizuki, but it is Shin. He holds her phone, apologizing to Kizuki through it, then steps forward. Without hesitation, he leans in and steals the kiss he has long held back. Mizu sinks into gloom after failing to convince the young mangaka to keep drawing. The girl's doubt hits her harder than expected. In her heart, she yearns to hear Kizuki calling her a genius, for the comfort of his hand brushing away her tears. That memory makes her ache. Her phone buzzes suddenly with a call from an unknown number. On the other end is Eru, speaking from a layover in Hong Kong. He asks if she is free because he will be back in Japan tonight. Mizu's eyes widen just as Shin's lips press firmly against hers. The world freezes. When they pull apart, Shen marks the moment by pointing out the date and time, telling her to never forget they were together now. She flushes red, asking what he is doing, but he simply says he wanted memories with her and he will never apologize. Shaken, she grabs her phone and dashes inside, while Shin turns and finds Kizuki standing there. Shin looks him in the eye and declares he will not lose anymore, nor will he cheer from again. Morning brings no peace. On another school day, the boys arrive to walk Mizu to school, but she is already gone. Since that kiss, sleep has been a stranger to her. She spirals in confusion, unable to understand Shen's intentions. For now, she chooses to avoid both him and Kizuki. At the same time, Togo receives farewell gifts from students, since his internship is ending. The group pools money from Mrs. Father to buy a proper gift. Only Shin is free to go shopping, and he heads out ahead. Kizuki collapses in frustration, unable to skip swim practice to join. His heart is restless. Togo, fresh from surfing, notices Mizu sitting with a downcast face. She is staring at her phone, reading a text from Shin that says she should not start hiding from him so early in the morning. Togo sneaks up and asks what troubles her. She tries to brush it off, but he invites her to hang out. She agrees, following him reluctantly. Shin's texts keep arriving, instructing her to keep her afternoon free for tomorrow. Togo mocks her thoughts aloud, imitating her usual lines about love being confusing, friendship being safer, and romance not being for her. She gasps, realizing he reads her like an open book. Togo grows serious. He tells her he once lived the same way. Back in his high school years, he loved a girl who happened to be the crush of his best friend. He told himself excuses every day. He never confessed, never fought for her, and graduated with silence. He dated other girls to distract himself, but nothing erased the regret. Even now, he admits the regret eats at him. He warns Mizu to listen to her heart before she too makes the same mistake. To lighten the mood, he makes a smooth shot at the basketball hoop and tells her she can always return to her first crush if things go wrong. She calls him a dreamer and laughs, but her heart shifts. For the first time, she feels determination to face her feelings directly. Meanwhile at practice, Shoujo teases Kizuki mercilessly. He blurts out that Mizu is off with Shin, causing Kizuki to jolt upright. It is a joke, but it is enough to make Kizuki's blood boil. Shoujo smirks, warning him that if Shin grows serious, he might sweep Mizu off her feet. Kizuki grips his kiss, already feeling his health bar hit 0 like some pathetic loser stuck in a game over screen. At the mall, Shin and Mizu shop for Togo's gift together. The elevator crowds with people pressing her against him. Her mind floods with memories of their kiss, making the air feel unbearably hot. She reminds herself she is only here for the gift, yet her heart betrays her. Inside a store, girls swoon over Shun's looks. They whisper about his coolness, saying he has always been unreachable. He never accepted chocolates, never entertained any confessions, always hiding behind the excuse of studying. He built a reputation of cold indifference. Mizu wonders why a boy who ignored romance for so long suddenly turns toward it now. She gets distracted by a tie on display. Shin steps close, brushing against her shoulder, and says it looks good. Her knees nearly give out from the boldness. Each little move from him feels calculated, making her lose her balance. She tells herself not to fall for such tactics, but her heart races anyway. They continue browsing, and when she least expects it, he leans in as if to kiss her again. Instead, he bites into her snack, smirking while girls around gush that his girlfriend must be the luckiest. Mizu turns bright red, scolding him in her mind. This idiot knows exactly how to throw her off. Later, they watch a couple posing in wedding outfits for a photo shoot. Shen's eyes soften as he imagines Mizu in a wedding dress, smiling and calling his name. Mizu notices his gaze but cannot read his thoughts. He keeps them to himself. As evening falls, he takes her onto a cable car ride. The sky glows with the sunset as the car slowly climbs. Silence stretches between them. She tries to speak, but he does not answer at first, lost in thought. Finally, he confesses he has no interest in the ride itself. He only wants to stay with her longer. He promises he is not playing with her, that his heart is beating hard simply because she is here beside him. The car shakes slightly and she falls into his arms. Their heads touch, and he whispers that he wishes this day would never end. Stepping off the car, he looks back at her, the decision written clearly on his face. His heart is already set on dating her. Mizu freezes, realizing the boy she thought was always aloof is not distant at all. The truth is harsher. She never knew him in the first place. Mizuho is playing baseball in the high school playground. Kizuki calls her name, rushing toward her with a bottle of water, thinking she must be thirsty. From the other side, Shin approaches, scolding her for wearing so little in the freezing weather, and gently places his jacket over her shoulders. Kizuki helps her drink, insisting he will have a bento with her at lunch. Shen quickly cuts in, claiming he will work on homework with her after school. Mizuho sighs at their childish fight, but Kizuki, irritated, adds that he will also do cleanup duty with her. Shin responds smugly that they will watch Shenshin together. Kizuki tries to say something, but Shin again interrupts and their argument escalates. Frustrated, Kizuki demands to know what Shin's problem is, and Shin fires back that he could ask the same thing. Mizuho, now annoyed, snaps at both of them to stop making decisions for her. Later, she sits with Chika on the school stairs. Chika observes her tired expression and jokes that she looks like she aged 10 years overnight, offering her a collagen drink. Exhausted, Mizuho mutters that she cannot take this anymore and just wants to go home and bury herself in manga. Chika laughs, finding it amusing that the usually cold-hearted Shen is acting so differently. To her, love has clearly changed him, but Mizuho, frustrated, insists it is not funny. Chika teases further, telling her she should be enjoying the attention instead of complaining, and adds that someone with no real romantic experience has no right to pursue shoujo manga. The words sting, striking a sore spot. Then, as if remembering something important, Mizuho suddenly recalls that the latest issue of Monthly Haruka has been released. That means the result of the newcomers manga competition is finally out. The boys search for Mizu after school, but she is nowhere to be found. Eru receives a message from Chika with her location and runs off alone. On the way, his mind drifts to darker times. He remembers his delinquent days, the beatings, the sense of never belonging. The boys he ran with treated him like trash, never considering him one of them. He recalls the night Mizu found him bruised and broken at their old meeting spot. In desperation, he grabbed her hand and asked her to go out with him. At that time, he loathed himself. He thought if she accepted, he could change. She refused gently, saying he did not truly love her romantically. She still promised to stay by his side. She told him he belonged to them. That moment saved him. He finds her at the same old park now, sitting in defeat. She crumbles over her competition results. She has tried since elementary school, yet still she cannot debut. She feels like a fraud. Maybe she should stop chasing manga dreams and instead study for college entrance exams. Eru cannot let her sink deeper. He pulls her close, silencing her doubts. He tells her she once saved him with her words, so now he will return that strength. He promises that no matter who she becomes, a manga artist, an office worker, or something entirely unexpected, he will be there for her. Then he teases, calling her hopeless as a model. The idiot is still himself even when comforting her. Returning together, they find Kizuki waiting. Eru steps back, recognizing this moment does not belong to him. For him, these friends are irreplaceable, even if love never falls in his favor. Kizuki pulls out sketches Mizu once drew from in elementary school. They are treasures he never let go. He tells her he admires the Mizu who worked hard, the girl who always chased her dream. He does not want her to give up. His words break her, bringing her to her knees in tears. It hurts because when he encourages her like this, quitting becomes impossible. He tells her plainly that if the weight makes her cry, he will always be there to wipe her tears. At the airport, Mizu meets Eru again. He teases her outdated makeup, same as always. She is shocked to see him back earlier than expected. He explains he is on break from his school in London and passed through Hong Kong for a fashion exhibition. They share a meal together, and the truth spills. He has been studying makeup and fashion, throwing himself into that path. He asks about her, and she admits things are collapsing. He tells her work ethic inspires him. Seeing her fight pushes him to fight harder. Her phone buzzes again. The young mangaka she mentors calls. The girl admits she once competed fiercely with a boy for top scores in her first year of high school. She thinks maybe she liked him. That spark leads her to consider writing a new story inspired by those feelings. She has already sent Mizu a draft. Mizu opens it on the spot and is stunned. The opening scene burns with energy. The boy character feels cool and alive. For the first time, the young artist writes with heart. Mizu beams through tears, telling her she wants more. The girl is finally using love and youth in her work. Mizu sees her own growth reflected. Mizu is not the same girl from the past. She has carried both laughter and bitterness. All of it shapes who she is now. Every memory, every rejection, every late night with friends feeds into her. She realizes this is her spark, the thing she once thought she lacked. At the same airport, Kizuki goes about his business. An associate hands him back a keychain he had dropped earlier. The man asks if he has dinner plans, teasing him about meeting his girlfriend. Kizuki smirks and answers coldly. He never promised anyone anything. And so, the story of Mizuho and her friends comes to an end. Stay tuned for second season. And if you enjoyed this recap, drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear who you think truly deserves Mizuho's heart. And don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. The best is yet to come.